Hello everyone and welcome to the Purpose Unstoppable YouTube channel. My name is Tiffany Hill and today, you guys, I am so very excited because today marks our first official video. So I know you're probably wondering, what is Purpose Unstoppable? And I'm going to get to it shortly. But I want to first tell you a little bit about me. Well, I am a Christian. I love Jesus. And I am also a wife to my husband, Charles. And I have 3 beautiful daughters. My first daughter is 17. And then my second daughter, she's 8. And then my last baby, she's 3. And so they all of the letters in their name, the first letter in their name all starts with an A. So they're so very closely connected that I always kind of get tongue-tied. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, but I am from the great state of Alabama, from the city of Birmingham. You'll probably often hear me speak a little southernish, so just be ready for it because it comes out, it seeps out from time to time. But enough about me. So let's talk a little bit more about what Purpose Unstoppable is all about. But I want to share with you my story first because it all makes sense once I bring it all together. This is how Purpose Unstoppable all came about. So within the year of 2014 to 2016, I had completely stopped going to church. But in the 3rd year of December 2016, I had an undeniable experience with God. So let's back up and talk about why I stopped going to church. Okay, so I was saved and baptized at the age of 13. So I grew up in the church. But at this particular time, around these particular years, I was just so frustrated with life. I was frustrated. I did not feel, I felt like everything was so routine. I felt as if I was a robot. I would get up when they tell me to get up. I would sit down when they said to sit down. I would go home and fix my dinner, get ready for the next week. I mean, it was just so routinish, and I was just so frustrated with all of that. I really felt like it was something more. It was something more for me, and I just wasn't getting it at church. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to stop going. And I talked to my husband. I said, can we just stop going, because I just really I just don't get anything from it anymore. As we made the decisions to stop going, in the 3rd year of December 2016, I had an experience with God, and during this experience, I felt the Lord drawing me to Him. He was drawing me to Him in a place in my home. It was actually in my closet. And during that time, I knew nothing about a closet was a secret place. I knew nothing about any of that. And so He drew me into my closet. And as I was in my closet, I began to open up my mouth because I said, you know what? I just want to talk to God. I just want to remove everything that anyone ever taught me about praying. And I just want to open up my mouth to Him, and I want to just talk. And so I sat down on my floor. I was crisscross applesauce. And as I began talking, I began to confess, like make confession. I was confessing the things that I had done. And it was just coming out so naturally. But as all of that was going on, as I began to confess my sins, confess the things that I had done, and I was confessing the things that I didn't even think that I thought I had forgotten about it. And the Lord was bringing those things to my remembrance. Even to the small things that I didn't even think that He cared about. He was bringing those minute things up. But in all of that was happening, I began to feel that I could not stand in His presence. I couldn't stand in His presence because I was filthy and I was dirty of the things I had done. I felt it was like an immediate knowing that I could not stand in His presence as I began to confess. And once I knew that I couldn't stand in His presence, I began to start asking for forgiveness. And I would just ask for forgiveness, and Lord, forgive me. I would just say, Lord, forgive me, forgive me. And as I was asking for forgiveness, I began to weep. I began to cry. And as I was crying, I began to feel God cover me. He didn't condemn me in that moment, but yet I felt His love cover me completely. It covered me completely, and I began to just weep. I began to cry. I began to weep because I knew He was in the room. His presence covered me completely. It was a warmth of His presence that was in the room with me. And I could never deny that experience. That experience that I had with the Lord changed my life forever. It completely changed my life forever. And as that happened, I remember a block. It was like a wall had came up. A wall had came up to where I could not go back to the way things were. Could not go back to the way things used to be in my life. My life completely changed from that moment on. And so as my life continued to change, I continued to develop a relationship with God. I continued to pursue Him. And it was nothing like just having an experience with God, and then you don't continue to pursue him. So I continued to pursue him. I continued to chase after him. I continued to develop my relationship with him. And as I was developing my relationship with him, he revealed to me what he called me to do. And when I received my calling, when I realized that I had purpose, I had a meaning for me being here, I had a purpose for me being here, he had a plan for me in being here on earth, it was as if like everything just opened up. But through my relationship with him, he began to show me my condition of how I was, and the things that I needed to get free of. And I was able to get free from those things. And as I continued to progress in my continued walk with Jesus Christ, but as that experience happened, he gave me this name, Purpose Unstoppable. He gave me this name, Purpose Unstoppable. And from that moment, I realized that if God took enough time to come to invade my space, he didn't even have to have my permission. He invaded my space. If he took enough time to care about me, to snatch me out of my situation, I said, I am not going to allow nothing to stop me from doing what he's called me to do. I don't care what the cost is. I don't care what I have to go through to do it. I am going to follow Jesus Christ no matter what. I am going to pick up my cross and I'm going to follow him. And this leads me to encourage and inspire you. I'm going to inspire you on this channel. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to bring teaching on this channel so that we can be stirred up in our Christian faith. Being Purpose Unstoppable is all about being bold in our Christian faith. And we don't allow nothing to stop us from doing what God called us to do. We don't allow nothing to stop us from fulfilling the calling and purpose God has placed upon our lives to bring glory to his name. It all brings glory to him. And so I'm going to bring teachings to you. It's going to be all biblical based. It's going to be all Jesus Christ centered, and it's going to be all Holy Spirit led. So I'm excited this new journey that God has me on, and I'm excited that we're going to start this new journey together. So I want you to chase after God like never before. I'm praying for you. And just always know that I love you. But guess what? Jesus Christ loves you so much more. I want you to go out and inspire the world around you to be purpose unstoppable.